You walk in, and the world's already moved on. Just a week ago, there were plastic skeletons slumped over in department store windows, fake cobwebs on trees, a pumpkin melt sagging on someone's front porch, and somehow, without warning, it's Christmas. Not the quiet kind either. No slow shift from gold leaves to gift wrap. It's full throttle, flashing reds and greens in aisle 7. Inflatable Santas jittering in the garden center as if caffeine drunk. It's not even Thanksgiving, but they want you to believe it might be too late already. There's urgency in the air, the kind that isn't yours but feels like it should be. And for a lot of people, this is the moment they cave, the moment they walk into a store for milk and walk out with a 7-foot cardboard box they never researched. A TV, they say, on sale. But here's the thing about on sale. That tag, it's not just a deal. Sometimes it's a distraction, a shiny dot they hope will pull your attention away from what actually matters. So if you're someone looking for a TV right now, especially during the Black Friday blur, let's just stop. Not the whole world. Just mentally slow it down for a breath or two. Because this isn't a list of 5 hot picks. This is about the questions that matter before the dollars do. Tip number 1, not all screens are created equal. Even when they look the same in a box, they'll line them up. Stack specs and columns. 60 Hz versus 120 Hz QLED versus OLED to 4, KU HD HDR. It starts to feel like a game of alphabet soup. And the thing is, it's meant to. Because the difference between looks good in store and makes you cry laughing at 2 a.m. rewatching The Office. That difference, it's almost never on the box. It lives in details like how the picture handles low light, whether facial tones drift into orangey oversaturation, if motion blur ruins your sports days, or if daytime glare turns dark, shows into pointless shadows. Go ahead, turn off store mode if you're there. Don't trust the playing panda on loop. Watch how skin looks, how subtitles hold sharpness. Can you see definition in dark scenes, or does it all smear into gray? Don't be fooled by the brightness war either. Companies love to crank display lights up in store to make average screens pop like premium ones. But bright doesn't equal better. It just deceives tired eyes. Tip number 2, your living room is not Best Buy. I know this one sounds obvious, but stay with me. In-store lighting is cold, complicated, high contrast to boost excitement, but it never reflects real life. At home, you have light coming off a lamp, maybe a warm wall sconce in the background, maybe ambient daylight. That's where your TV needs to perform, not under fluorescent battlegrounds. So when you look at that screen, don't ask, does it look bold? Ask, does this feel like my home? Because that's where it'll live. Think about your space. Do you need wide viewing angles because your couch is L-shaped? Prioritize IPS panels. Do you mostly watch at night in a darker room? Then contrast and black level performance matter deeply. So think OLED or F/Edge-lit systems. Gaming. Make sure the refresh rate's native and not just effective stimulation, because marketing loves those loopholes. The number says 120 Hz, but the fine print reveals the truth. HDMI 2.1 VRALLM. These aren't just buzzwords. If you game, they mean smoother, cleaner visuals. They mean a controller that responds without drag. They mean a connection that won't feel like lag-induced déjà vu. And for streamers, which, let's be honest, is most of us, check how the interface feels. Is it fast? Does it remember where you left off? Can you use your current services without extra dongles, side remotes, or proprietary nonsense? Sometimes speakers get all the love, but no one wants to fight their interface just to rewatch Season 4. Tip number 3, more inches doesn't always mean more joy. Big screens sell fast. They create spectacle. 75 in, 85 in, it sounds luxurious until you're 2 nights in squinting because the pixels can't keep up or the screen swallows the room. Sometimes less screen equals more harmony. So ask, how far is your couch really? Because size without clarity turns epic into murky. Here's a good rule, the human scale test. Take your room, measure your main viewing distance in feet, then multiply that by 7. That's your rough ceiling in inches before you need serious resolution to justify the stretch. For example, if your couch is 8 feet from the wall, a 65-inch TV is your sweet spot. Maybe 75 if the resolution is solid and your budget flexes a bit. But don't go full IMAX if you're watching from a coffee table. The image shouldn't fight your eyes. It should settle like a canvas, not a billboard. Tip number 4, real support matters more than a brand name. Here's something TV boxes won't tell you. What happens when things go wrong? Dead pixels, flickering, smart systems that forget passwords. It's rare, but it happens. And when it does, returns can be painful. Repair can be costly. Service centers, non-existent. That's where buying from the right place means more than any spec sheet. Big box stores might give you 90 days. A good electronics retailer, they might give you a technician's direct line. More importantly, some retailers honor their warranties without drama. Others, not so much. Before you press buy, Google just one thing. Retailer name, TV return policy, 2025. Scroll through the horror stories, or better yet, find the lack of them. Trust that gut pause. Half the time, it's right. Tip number 5. Sound is half the experience. Almost no one talks about it until it's too late. You bring home that sparkling 4K screen. It boots. Up like a dream. And then the dialogue's muffled. Explosions sound like distant fireworks. Bass, forget it. You're fidgeting with audio settings just to make voices cut through. That's because thin TVs come with thin speakers. Physics hasn't caught up yet. It's not about volume, it's about presence. So here's the hard truth. Even the best panel with bad sound becomes forgettable. Meanwhile, a decent screen with excellent sound that sticks with you. If a full surround system feels like too much, grab a quality soundbar. It changes everything. Trust isn't about Dolby logos. It's about feeling the goosebumps before you realize why. TVs aren't just boxes anymore. They're portals. To family movie nights where no one checks their phone. To Sunday games where your uncle swears the ref is blind. To lazy mornings in bed watching snowfall in fake towns on holiday rom-coms. And when you find the right one, it disappears. You forget it's even there. That's how you know it's working. So don't let anyone rush you. Not the clock, not the freeze frame smiley banners, not the loud specs or strange abbreviations. Slow down. Ask what's going to matter 6 months from now. When the excitement faded, when all that's left is the couch, the quiet, and episode 3. That's what you're really buying. Now, let's go deeper. There's this moment no one talks about. You've unboxed the thing, peeled the film off the corners, you're staring at your purchase, brand new and humming in quiet anticipation. And then it hits that small voice that whispers, "Did I get the wrong one?" It's not loud, just enough to make you frown at the settings menu. You start wondering if that other model, the one you hesitated on, would have been better. Truth is, most people don't regret a TV because it's bad. They regret it because they never gave themselves a real decision to make. They rushed, reacted, let the sale seduce them into silence. So if you're in that space now, looking at dozens of screens, wondering what's smart and what's marketing, just pause here. Let's walk through the mental framework that actual tech reviewers use. Not models, not hype, just questions. First, what are you feeding it? A screen is only as good as what it's playing. If you mostly binge YouTube and Netflix, your needs are not the same as someone watching 4K remasters with a Blu-ray player or streaming Dolby Vision through fiber. Compressed video looks different across screen types. Entry-level HDR often can't handle shadows gently. On cheaper TVs, highlights clip. You lose detail and brightness. Fire becomes a blotch. Faces become glowing stickers in movies that should have been subtle. That's why mid-tier or better panels matter if you care about storytelling. If you're watching anime, cartoons, sports, maybe none of that feels as urgent. But for a true cinematic style, you need processing that understands nuance. Upscaling that doesn't smear older shows, or high motion that doesn't turn actors into waxy figures sliding across the screen. This is why sometimes a $500 TV feels like a $1,200 one, because it was tested against what you actually watch. That's the only test that matters. Next, don't chase the year. TVs are not phones. 2023 versus 2024 means less than you think. Sometimes last year's model is better. Better panel binning, better build quality, better raw contrast before they trimmed production costs. Brands often release new lines that are watered down from their predecessors because the goal is shelf real estate, not peak performance. Wrap it in fresh plastic, write AI on the box. New is often just different, not improved. Check the real specs. Look under the skin. Does the new model gain anything meaningful, or did it just get a new name? You'd be amazed how many shoppers pay for a fake step forward. This isn't about staying current. This is about staying smart. Pause again. Let's talk about OLED. The holy grail depends. Yes, OLED gives you perfect blacks, infinite contrast, colors that melt into each other the way twilight hugs the sky. But is it always the answer? Not necessarily, because if you watch a lot in daylight or have a very bright room, standard OLED might reflect too much. The screen is semi-gloss or fully mirrored. You'll see yourself in it during a white loading screen. Your window becomes a second protagonist. Cheaper OLEDs are also sometimes dimmer, especially in HDR. Some budget brands push brightness, but risk burning the panel over time if overused with static images. So, here's the test. If your space is cozy, low light, and built for atmosphere, OLED is magic. But in bright, open living rooms with skylights and windows, you might want a QLED with solid local dimming. Modern mini LED sets have real power, when tuned well, giving you punchy vibrancy without the burn-in anxiety. Again, context over headline. Let's pivot to your eyes. Literally, have you taken a moment to ask what kind of image are your eyes drawn to? Some prefer ultra-saturated vivid colors, a Samsung palette, modern and punchy. Others prefer a more natural tone like Sony's approach, focusing on realism and filmic grading. Then you've got Vizio or TCL, newer names with great specs per dollar, but sometimes wild variability and refinement. They manufacture some stellar panels and some inconsistent ones, and depending on your sensitivity to motion blur, backlight flicker, or color banding, certain brands may bother you in ways others don't. Eye strain happens. Sometimes the best TV for most people is not the best one for you. Watch demos if you can, and if not, look up panel type, flicker test, native refresh. Reviewers often include this detail. It's deeply underreported, but it makes all the difference in long session comfort. Let's go even smaller. Your wall. Are you wall mounting floating shelf under it? Corner stand? Because dimensions don't lie, but retailers do. They mark it in diagonal inches, not width, not weight, not Visa mount compatibility, not stand footprint width versus your console or cabinet. All those things, they matter more than the number in the corner of a box. Some TVs are all screen. Others have wide legs that don't fit standard tables. Don't buy something that looks clean and add photos, but takes 3 calls to actually install. This is the practical side of the poetic moment, and both matter. Let's sit with this for a second, because the mistake most people make is buying a TV for their idea of future life, not present life. A massive screen for guests who haven't visited in years. Immersive gaming performance before they even buy the console. Wall mount ready with no drill, no studs, no mount, no plan. Don't buy it later. Buy for now, because televisions shouldn't feel like unfinished homes. They should serve the room you already live in, not a fantasy. That's where the value lives. Now picture this. You've made your choice. The real one, the not just on sale one. You're finally curled up, lights low, favorite drink in hand, something quietly playing. And for the first time, you don't hear the TV anymore. You don't think about pixels or brightness. You're just there, present. That's the feeling worth protecting. That's worth every extra question you ask today. A quick aside on smart TVs. Know this, most of the smart interfaces are either great or unbearable. Some models run native Google TV, smooth, intelligent, stripped down. Some run their own OS, clunky, slow, full of lag, or stuck updates. The TV may be incredible, but the interface ruins everything. Check that before you buy. Responsiveness matters. Sometimes a $30 streaming stick beats the entire experience of a $900 TV. That's the paradox of modern tech. Function beats features, always has. Also, audio compatibility. If you plan to get a decent soundbar later, make sure the TV has EARC support. That lets you pass high-quality formats, Dolby Atmos, DTS, over a single cable without lag or loss. Some TVs promise Atmos on the ad, but only if you use built-in speakers. That's not a solution, that's a trap. It's fine to live with bare-bones sound, but not if the upgrade path is blocked. Think forward, but only in this direction. Only in ways that serve your experience, not abstract specs. And now we arrive back at the idea we began with. This purchase isn't just about watching something. It's about the kind of rest you're welcoming into your home. It's about the people who lean closer during end credits, about the silence between episodes, about kids laughing during movies they'll forget, but remembering how safe they felt with them. Lights dimmed. The best TV you can buy this season is the one that disappears when it matters. Everything else is noise. The pop-ups, the sparkle tags, the countdown clocks that only count your patience down. You're not late, you're just choosing with intention, and intention always wins. In the end, it's not just about buying the best television. It's about buying peace of mind, buying energy that lasts beyond the discount buzz. Because here's the truth. No one tells you while rushing through Cyber Monday flash deals. You won't think about the dollars 6 months from now. You won't remember if you got $70 off or $90 off. But you will remember how it felt to sit down and press play and feel good. If you're going to spend, spend with future you in mind. The version of you who worked a long day and wants to fall into something good. The version with a bowl of ramen at 11 p.m. or a sleepover on a blow-up mattress with cousins watching. The same cartoon loop for the 10th time. The version where your living room glows quietly around the scenes of a movie that made you feel like yourself again. It's not about perfection, it's about alignment. And alignment only happens when the thing you buy makes sense for the life you live. Let's do a quick lightning round of smart checks you may not realize matter, but they do. Does the TV have a sleep timer? Not all do. Can the remote be programmed to control your other gear easily? Some brands are better at that than others. Does it auto-switch inputs properly, or will you be juggling HDMI cords like it's still 2009? Does the wall mount spacing actually fit inside your studs? Can the stand actually sit on your console without hanging awkwardly over both sides? These are friction points, the little things that become big annoyances after the box is gone. Solve the friction now, not later. Later is when you're supposed to enjoy it. Let's talk about people now, because odds are you're not watching alone. Whether it's loud family weekends or quiet solo nights, your TV becomes a shared memory factory. So when you buy, think about how the people around you use it. A grandparent who can't read small menus. Choose a clean OS, high brightness, large subtitle options. A gamer who hates latency. Prioritize native refresh and HDMI bandwidth, not simulated numbers. A spouse who watches a lot of documentaries and nature shows. That content demands crisp upscaling and rich color nuance, not just raw brightness. Try to think beyond yourself a bit. Not because you're selfless, just because shared happiness sometimes shows up loud when tech fits more than one person, right? The best setups never feel like they belong to just one person. They belong to everybody that walks by and thinks, I kind of want to sit for a second. That's a design that is welcomed. So now, real quick, let's flip it. Here's what not to do. Don't walk into a store and let size impress you blindly. Don't assume LG means luxury or Samsung means smart. Don't let packaging with the word AI fool you. All it means is background processing. They're using language to mask standard features. Don't skip model numbers. Not all TVs from the same brand are equal. Same for Roku TVs or Fire TVs. Two models can be oceans apart in performance, even with the same branding. Don't expect perfection at a budget price. Don't assume your cable box or PS5 has the best settings auto-enabled. You'll probably need to tweak input types, enable game mode, adjust audio pass-through, and disable motion smoothing. Don't buy the Black Friday doorbuster special if the reviews aren't there to back it up later. And don't ever click buy now because the timer said you had 3 minutes left. That's manipulation. Pause. Zoom out. Sit back. You do not owe urgency to your decision. You owe clarity, your patience. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, maybe you already knew a lot of this, but I bet you also felt it confirm something deeper, that the holiday season makes you question what matters. Every ad tells you faster, brighter, louder. Every jingle pressuring you to upgrade, improve, replace. But deep down, you know things don't fix emptiness. A better picture doesn't always equal a better life. So you shop intentionally. You think before you act. You examine before you leap. And honestly, that's rare. It's brave because most people are taught to consume. Very few are encouraged to be curious. Curious about where their money goes and why. Curious about how tools shape time. Curious about what memory they're trying to build and if the device helps that or distracts from it. So, if no one says it today, here it is. Good job slowing down. Good job asking questions. Good job being here. Still not sure what model is best? You can search the exact model number followed by reviews on YouTube, or you can check rgs.com for exhaustive test data. Look at gray uniformity if you watch sports, black level if you like thrillers at night, input lag if you play Warzone or Fortnite. You can also take 3 model numbers you're deciding between and run a side-by-side compare chart on display. Specifications.com or Visual Compare. Dig deep. A little effort now buys years of comfort later. And if it's all too much, just remember, no TV is better than peace of mind. You can wait. You can skip. The right one reveals itself when you're not rushing the decision. And when do you find one? Make that space yours. Get rid of the cardboard. Mount it neatly. Cable manages the back. Add bias lighting or a tiny plant to soften the space. Update the firmware. Turn off the motion smoothing. Change Netflix settings to high quality manually, because sometimes these TVs default to medium to save bandwidth. Make it yours. Own the space, not just the product. And finally, the reminder, no one puts in the manual. You don't need to chase perfection. A screen will never raise your child for you. It won't repair a relationship or fix burnout, but it can hold space for peace, for joy, for belonging. And sometimes that's exactly enough. So if you're buying something soon, try not to grab it just because it's cheap or because someone in a red vest told you this model was flying off shelves. Buy it like you're building a home with care, with presence, with every ounce of attention you wish people gave to the things that actually matter. Because this season, you can be the one who shops slower. You can be the one who doesn't cave to pressure. You can be the one who gets what they actually need. By the time the ribbon's off, you'll feel it that you made the right choice. They want one that's smart enough to work. Before you go, hit that subscribe button. We don't just review, we expose. From the hype to the hidden failures to the tricks brands hope you'll never question. So hit like, tap subscribe, and join thousands of smart shoppers who already know. Smart spending starts with asking smarter questions. See you next time.